too. It was between. It was an all guy podcast too, and you know who Dr. Umar is?
Yeah.
So Son was going off on these guys because it's one of those podcasts where it's like, alpha guy, blah blah blah. Women need to play that type of shit.
Right.
So his thing was like, well, why are we worried as guys about like women that are like, talking about things like putting stuff on the table and all this stuff, like what do you bring out, stuff like that. Why are we more concerned about that versus like the problems that we have as like guys? Because one thing he preached about is like, you know how we hear the term like high value man and all this stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you're like a high value man, where's like the community aspect of being a guy? Because like, you know how you got like male figures of the community,
right?
How come that's not as shouted out, put on blast? Because we hear all the time about like women, like, I don't know, like twerking, doing all this other stuff, like living life and stuff, and not focusing on shit they supposed to. But guys don't kind of get that same thing. How do you like feel about? Damn, I kind of even lost my whole question. But how do you feel about all that? I guess. I got you.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about guys that kind of don't participate in the community aspect outside of their own family? You know how some people are like, well, I take care of my brother or my son. I make sure he good, but they'll make sure Johnny on the block is good or whatever.
It's funny when you bring up that. I always think about the situation with G Herbo and Cairo, and it's just like you're obligated to take care of yourself and your family. Anything that you do outside of that, people should be appreciative of. You know what I'm saying? It gets to a point where some people even lose their own blessings because they're so nervous about making you happy, and sometimes they never even receive that from other people. It's their heart, so it becomes dangerous. And it should always be a understanding, and you should never have your hand out. I'm saying that's C Money facts. Listen.
C Money facts.
You should never, ever have your hand out. You should never, ever expect for somebody to come through. If they come through, they're a real one. But don't ever expect that. Even if you're expecting, that day at 2 o'clock, think that it's not going to happen, because if it does, you're going to feel so good. You know what I'm saying? So
I respect that. So look, I want to go, since we're kind of like the blogs of like Rochester too, I kind of want to talk about like things that you like about the community, don't like about the community. Like what's like the whole Kia Boy situation. What's your thought process on that happening in Rochester?
Yo, one of the Kia Boys got me.
Oh, so you got a well, shit, the cat's in the bag now.
I actually didn't get it. I didn't get my car stolen. My car is not a Kia. But the crazy thing is, I was at the stoplight, okay? And the Kia Boys were driving wild.
Oh, they hit y'all.
Yes, I was here at the stoplight. They came rushing down, side rushed my car, dented it in. I couldn't open my door the way it was.
You was in there, right?
I was in there at the stoplight.
Oh, nah.
And they just I barely even knew what color it was. Like, that got me so tight.
You was scared?
I was mad. I wasn't even scared. I was so mad. Like, so what I think about that, I think that it's unfortunate. Even when I went out to Miami with my homegirls, and I tried to tell the people over there, like, yo, they got these Kid Boys out here. They're like, oh, yeah, they got them over here, too. So I guess it's, like, worldwide. That surprised me, but I think it's very dangerous, and I think it's very sad, you know what I'm saying? It's like kids are losing their lives out here, and it's always a conflict with that, like with the parents and, what they doing. I don't know if I can go too deep into that, but it's not the right thing to do. And I can't even be like, parents, watch out for your kids. I'm a parent now. I'm not at that point where my kid is at their age. So it's like, I can't speak on parents, I feel like, at that level yet. But
kids is wild now. I feel like they doing all the crime mostly. Like,
it's so crazy. In the murders. The cars.
Yeah.
It's real bad. And I feel like I can't say what influences it, But I saw a video of a dude, and he had an extender on his shit, right? And he gonna hop out the car and put it in that woman's face when she had a baby with her. And I was like, I was almost sick to my stomach. And for the people in the comments who comment on stuff like that, like, oh, I would have did this, that, and the third. You would have what? You know what I'm saying? I think people need to learn how to stop talking about being in situations they never been in. And but I think it got a lot of respect on the community. Like, this is not right. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool.
Yeah, the community right now, the shit is all over the place.
Right.